And on today's show, why addressing survivor needs can be a unique sales strategy for your practice. Part 1 of this week's series on packaging financial sales suites with Sales Packaging Pro, Mark James. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Innsmark, Life Specs, and Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, welcome to the show, Mark.
Steve, thanks for having me.
I got to say, I love your whole style of approach and methodology, because I think a lot of times we're trying to do full financial planning and sometimes we need an entree in. One of the many, I bet you might have 20, 30 suites that you can put together, and you have this automated system. It works really great.
It's a great financial planning tool. You know, most people don't get the opportunity to have financial planning done for them. Generally speaking, it's really saved for the wealthy. The mass affluent doesn't have that opportunity. A financial advisor with Backroom Technician, for example, can put together a customized financial plan and presentation utilizing needs analysis, client education, and a whole presentation software that can put that presentation together for them very quickly. And it's a great tool to use. Well,
as most of you know, I've been a contributing author for Backroom Technician. We're going to use them as an example of sales suites and how we introduce, maybe I can't get into full financial planning, but maybe I can introduce a suite to a client, which helps me get into the bigger picture. In our example here, we have a survivor needs analysis that you're going to walk us through, Mark, and I like the ability to kind of put all the information in a nice picture, and it also gives us a nice table of contents, and of course, if you're a broker-dealer or you have your own different caveats, disclosures, disclaimers, you have that page to put that on there, and I'm sure, again, if you're licensed, you're a compliance officer, and remember, many of the really good sales suites, including Backroom Technician, a lot of them are already compliance approved by many broker-dealers. You may have to check yours to be specific. So let's just walk into this. Mark, let's talk about survivorship means. I don't think people remember. I think they look at things as two people dying at the same time, and it's never that way.
No, it's not. In this case, we have a fictitious client that we'll kind of run through here and talk about the needs analysis and how easy it is with Backroom Technician really to put it together. So you can get the survivor needs analysis, in this case, in the event of the husband dying before the wife, a one-page presentation that gives you the area of needs, the immediate needs, also gives you the income needs and the result, and it gets you squared down just right down to the dollar exactly how much life insurance, in this case, the event of Paul's death, they need. And you can see it shows it not only quantitatively at the bottom, but it also shows it graphically as well. And a little timeline, and shows the income, and also shows where the shortfall begins.
Well, when I have this down, now I see where we are, and the red describes the shortfall. I think a lot of clients are shocked when they see that red, because that really says, boy, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, of course, the biggest worry everybody has in their retirement is, running out of money, or in the case, should someone pass away, the same thing. Do we have enough money, in this case, for Paul's wife and the children?
Well, walk me through this page real quickly here. It says, give me an idea of what we're looking at.
Well, right here, what we're looking at is the immediate needs upon death. Should Paul pass away, Sally and the children are going to have immediate needs. And they generally include capital needed immediately for things like an emergency fund, final expenses, college fund for the children to be able to go to college, any debt repayment, which might include the mortgage or any other debt that they might have, as well as shows them exactly how much capital they have to solve that debt, any cash, life insurance proceeds, in this case, existing college funds that we have, and what's available. And it shows, obviously, they may have, in some certain situations with life insurance, the ability to solve for those capital needs immediately. However, it's really not prudent most of the time to liquidate everybody's assets or everyone's assets to cover those immediate needs.
If I have these numbers and statistics, it's just a matter of plugging them in and letting the software generate this kind of information.
Exactly. It's a fact finder that you fill out. The longest fact finder that we have is only 2.5 pages long. So
what a relief.
Yeah, so it's very easy to fill out. You know, most clients don't want to fill out a 14-page fact finder. They're not looking for 70 pages of an analysis. But with Backroom Technician, you can do it quick and easy.
Well, yeah, and on here we're looking at the actual stream and the information and numbers using earned income, Social Security, and other income scenarios. And this kind of gives us a timeline of actual money going in and coming out. I like this because it's a really good graphic, and sometimes people say, I need more than just your goodwill and concept thinking. I need to actually see the raw numbers.
That's right, and we showed on the first page, we got drilled down right to the dollar they needed. And in this case, in my opinion, this is a great tool to sell life insurance because selling life insurance isn't so much selling a product, but it's showing one's responsibility to their families. And here we have a whole timeline, the age, the income need, the earned income, Social Security benefits, even the blackout period is figured in the software. Any other income coming in, assets, asset balance, any shortfall. And as you can see, the shortfall starts right here. And you add up all those shortfalls, and it comes to, in this case, the survivor need is $4.5 million. Should Paul pass away and Sally and the kids, she's only 38 years old, have a lot of life in front of them. So that $4.5 million, when a client sees that, immediately knows that that $416,000 of additional capital there solves for that problem. So it's really a great tool to show somebody. In this case, I'm sure Sally's poking Paul saying, you better go get the checkbook, because there's no way me and the kids are going to be out that kind of money, should you pass away tomorrow. So
when we come back from the break, we're going to continue our walking through one of our suites here on survivor needs and how you can use it to penetrate and get into new clients and prospects. We'll be right back after the break. It's not how much money you make for your clients, it's how much money they get to keep, especially in retirement. But retirement income could cause Social Security benefits to be taxed. One tax advantage alternative is life insurance designed as a non-modified endowment contract that can generate tax-free income without taxing Social Security benefits. These contracts offer differing funding options depending upon your client's risk tolerance. For more information on how life insurance can be part of your retirement planning, just email me at steve@downtobusiness.tv. Brought to you by Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Well, welcome back to the second segment. Of course, I'm with suite aficionado, Mark James. Mark, you're walking us through these things. And so many people say, Steve, I've seen this on your show before. You use Backroom Technician a lot. Listen, if you want your own 30-day free trial, just look at the URL address link down there. Go ahead and hit it, get a 30-day free trial, and try it out for yourself. It's excellent. I've been using Backroom Technician personally since 1992. Wow. Walk us through this now. We're switching now. We did the traditional one, the male dives. Now we're talking about Sally, the female dives. We're kind of playing around the other way now. Walk us through that.
Sure. So it actually gives us not only in the event of, in this case, Paul's death, but now should Sally die before Paul, exactly what's going to happen in that situation. So it gives us the same survivor needs, areas of needs, immediate needs, the income needs, and the result, again, quantitatively as well as graphically. So it shows exactly how much life insurance we'll need on Sally instead of Paul in this case.
I hate to point this out, but so many times I find this to be true. We look at the statistics on the timeline, the raw numbers, but many of the times the clients love a visual graphic like this that shows red, and they know that that's not good. And so what I appreciate is when you actually show it, you're showing numbers, but you're showing this snapshot, and this snapshot really graphically shows and depicts to the client, man, I have a serious shortfall here, and I need to actually manage to that, and that's why we're in the interview.
Well, a lot of people are visual, so having the graphics really is something that's important. In this case, too, we also have the immediate needs, just like we had with Paul. Shows them quantitatively and also graphically, as you can see.
Now, in your situation, in this one here, where both in the couple, are they both working?
They both do have income, absolutely. And of course, they have two children, and we want to cover the college costs, so that's where you're going to want the life insurance as well. In this case, we have some life insurance on Paul, we have some on Sally, but we still have a deficit should one or both of them pass away. So we want to make sure that we're not having to liquidate all the immediate cash that we have, all the assets that we have to cover it. So in this case, with Sally, we do need some additional life insurance as well.
An interesting thing when you're looking at, especially in this is a classic case, dual income raising kids. We call them DIRKs for short. When you look at this, you have DIRKs, you have DINKs, dual income no kids, you have CIRCs, single income raising kids, and SINKs, single income no kids. In our DIRK example here, we can do all four of those scenarios, it doesn't matter, as a sales suite, and this is a great tactical issue. I don't know how many people are actually introducing to financial planning to couples that are using a single suite like this as an introduction. Again, so many people say, I don't want to do a 40-page fact finder, but I want to be introduced to the basics. And this is a great entry-level idea.
Well, and this whole presentation, Steve, only takes about 10 minutes to put together. So once you have the fact finder filled out, very easy to input the data into the software and come up with the results as you're seeing here.
Well, I love this because back in the day when I first started, I have to tell you, we did this in the late 80s, early 90s. We were doing this with a HP 12C calculator and a brand new thing called Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly. And like any software, there's a learning curve. This software, however, we run through it. We do one-on-one meetings with the advisor to help them set it up show them how to use it, and they're up and running in probably about 30 minutes.
I love your tutorial idea. I had to go through the whole training issue myself, and I was really glad to go through it. It really helps you execute these suites, and this is really an excellent. Again, we're on the regular timeline now, except for this time for Sally, in this case.
Absolutely. We have the same timeline here. We have our assumptions. In this case, Sally passes away instead of Paul. We have the analysis, the results. In this case, should she pass away first, we still have an annual shortfall of about $4.7 million. So we can see exactly what the capital required to solve for that is. That's our problem. The capital available is there for us. Very easy to see in the timeline. The age, the need, the earned income, Social Security benefits already figured for you in the software. We can easily do that, show the assets, the balance, and of course any shortfall, and we can see that we've got a shortfall starting right here at age 68, and then of course we have the result up here, exactly what they need to solve for that.
Mark, I also want to point out, now we're incorporating a rate of inflation. Remember, this is something that we need to really introduce into all our planning. There's going to be some kind of COLA, some kind of CPI, some kind of introduction of inflation into our thinking. And here again, we're using 325, which I think is pretty good number. We don't know what the future is going to be. It's been low today, but tomorrow it could be awful high.
Absolutely, and one of the great things with using software like this is you can do great what-if scenarios. So you can run one, in this case we're running one at 3.25%. If you want to go historically, it's closer to 4%. So you can do great what-if scenarios for the client and show them exactly what inflation does, not only to our survivor needs, but also our retirement.
You know, I've noticed also that in the software, you can actually print that very thing you just said, the historical inflation rate. So you can say, oh, I just didn't pull this number out of my head. I actually have the historicity. And I think that's a huge plus for they see they've done your due diligence, and your stuff on that support area is huge.
Well, one of the things Backroom Technician has is we have over 600 reports to help educate the client, because an educated client, of course, is more apt to purchase or invest with you. So educating the client's very, very important. But the needs analysis, and here we have the fact finder itself for survivor needs. You can see that it's only 2.5 pages long. Once you've completed that, you can easily input the data into the software and come up exactly with the results that you need.
This is why it's so important. I think this suite is a great introduction. I don't know how many planners are actually doing survivor needs analysis, and to me, this could pull you out of the pack and make your practice distinctive. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Remember, before moving forward with any of the ideas on the show, always consult your tax advisor, legal counsel, or your broker-dealer compliance officer. Missed an episode? Just hop out to our video archives, and remember, you could be wiser as an educated advisor. I'm Steve Savant. See you.